Welcome back to Tactical Mortgage Talk. I am Tom Stearns, and sitting with me, as always, is my co-anchor, Mr. Brad Stenson.
What up, Tom?
How are we doing, my friend?
Another glorious day to be alive, dude.
It is, buddy. It is. So, as most of you know, Brad is a United States Marine Corps veteran. He's a huge veteran advocate and a certified military mortgage boot camp instructor.
Hey, didn't you just get that designation as well?
I would say so. Yeah, I did. It's going to be a big push for me for 2019.
Yeah, because we're going to crush 2019. Hashtag crush 2019.
So hey, as most of you know, we have put Tactical Mortgage Talk, or T.M.T, together, and this podcast is about our veterans, and it's for our veterans. So our big thing is to help those that need help, whether it be a nonprofit, a veteran, or someone seeking a VA home loan. So really our mission is to push our word, our mission in this digital world. So
absolutely. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to take advantage of the platforms available to us, because me as a veteran, I know that we don't know what's available to us. You know, so I thank you for the kind words there, Mr. Tommy Boy.
You're welcome.
Kudos to you for staying in this business for 21 years and really altering your course. Like the path that you're on right now, I can't wait to see where we are at 2019. So keep trudging along, man.
I'm looking forward to doing it with you, man, and changing a lot of people's lives. You know,
dude, we were at the wreaths yesterday.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
How freaking cool was that, man?
It was cool. You know what I thought was even more cool is that we had our families there. You know, we had our young ones there, and showing them, you know, what it's all about to honor our veterans.
So yesterday was wreaths across America.
Yep.
Laying wreaths at all national cemeteries.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Right? It was huge. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
At 9 a.m. in California, 12 noon here in our state, everybody was laying wreaths, remembering the fallen, honoring those who have served, and teaching our kids the true value of freedom.
Yeah.
Across the country, man.
It was truly touching, and to see, you know, people there from the age of, you know, 2 to 72.
Exactly.
Was pretty powerful for me, and yeah, it was cool to have my little girl with me and experience that. It was my first experience of that, and it was awesome. It truly touched my heart, and again continues to remind me of why we're doing what we do. And
precisely, and you know what was extremely badass was you and your daughter place a wreath on the tombstone. I was like, what? And then I saw Colin.
Yeah,
our boy Colin was there from
good buddy Colin.
So like, holy shit, like that made me proud.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm affecting change on these guys. This is awesome. You know, like I'm not making you see the light, but you know, helping you get involved, get over the insecurities and that we all have.
Yeah,
you know, like I still have a hard time bringing up the fact that I served, because you know, like it to me as a veteran, it's hard to articulate that, because in my mind, it doesn't have any bearing on what I'm doing right now, but it absolutely does.
Absolutely does.
Every once in a while, I need that swift kick in the ass to remind me.
Yeah, no, and it's a good kick in the ass for you too, buddy.
Yeah. Everybody needs one every once in a while.
You know?
Like the Army when they get a little too froggy.
So, no, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome the drive that you, myself, and Colin put together to try and get the goal to the 3,000 reefs. I know we fell a little bit short, but where'd we end? 2,500.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a tad short, but it's all good. I mean, we did something.
Yeah. You know, doing nothing does nothing, so we did something. So
correct.
I'm glad that was really honored to be a part of that, and it's awesome to see how, you know, just you, myself, and Colin have come forth and come together to push our mission of the Veterans Homefront at Benchmark Mortgage.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where we're at next year. But
let's
quit talking about this crap. Let's talk about what we want to talk about today. And what's that?
You start, Mike. No.
No. Okay. So
Let's talk about the loan limit.
Yeah. Well, first off, let's never say limit again, because there's no such thing as a VA.
limit.
You know, there is no limit to the VA home loan.
Correct.
All right. So let's clear that up.
Major misconception. Let's clear that up right off the board.
Correct. So
there is zero.
Correct. There is zero loan limit when we're talking about the VA home loan. Where this myth comes from is the fact that the VA will guarantee a veteran 25% of the conforming loan limit set by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's the big announcement when we talk loan limit.
Yes.
When in returns to Fannie and Freddie.
Correct. So that is increasing from $453,100 to $484,350.
Right. As of January 1.
Now, true to form, the VA has not announced this yet. Everybody else has, but we are expecting the VA to announce it within the next couple weeks, because the first is in a couple weeks.
Right. Exactly.
But I would not be surprised if the VA waited till January 3rd to announce that.
Right. Exactly.
It's the VA.
Exactly.
All right. But that is huge for all of our veterans. Mm-hmm. And this is nationally too, by the way.
Right.
Okay. This is not just here in the state of Michigan. Now, this is for regular counties. All right. The high county loan limits are higher. All right. Such as San Diego.
Right.
What are a couple other ones? I think of San Diego
Washington.
right off the bat. Yeah, DC, right?
Yeah, right.
So they have higher loan limits. So what does it mean that the VA home loan does not have a loan limit? That means the VA, again, guarantees 25%. So a veteran does not have to bring anything, zero, cash to close as a down payment up to the new loan limit of $484,350. If a veteran is qualified to purchase a home that's higher than the conforming loan limits,
right?
What does that mean? Do they have to bring the difference cash to close?
Well, we just go through the basic entitlement or bonus entitlement calculation breakdown to show them exactly what they need, where it still benefits our veteran more so to do that VA loan than go into a jumbo financing scenario.
Okay, so let's say a veteran, we just discussed, the VA will guarantee up to $484,350. Mm-hmm. Let's say a veteran finds a house for $584,350. So $100,000 over the conforming loan limit.
Right.
That's only pre-approved for $484,350.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no. I mean, they're pre-approved for just as much. A civilian buyer and a veteran buyer pre-approved for the exact same amount. Okay. Right. But we find a home for $584,350, which is $100,000 over the conforming loan limit.
Right.
Okay. So as a lender, that means we're only going to provide $484,350 because that's guaranteed, right, by the VA.
Yes.
Right. That would lead everybody to believe that the veteran must bring $100,000 cash to close because the lender's only going to give $484 because, right.
That would be the misconception.
That's the misconception, because with the VA home loan, 25% of that difference is brought as cash to close.
Correct.
The rest is financed into the loan. So again, the $484,350 is now turning into well over $500,000.
Sure.
So there is no loan limit.
Correct. Whereas with our conventional buyer, they're either going to have to bring that cash to the table, right, to stay within that conforming loan limit loan, that standard Fannie Freddie product, or the next option would then be to investigate, should I do a jumbo loan?
And the jumbo loan gets really, really tricky.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and the rates are higher, and they're just, you don't want to do that. So again, it's your fiduciary responsibility as an agent to do what's best for your client. And if you're dealing with an eligible veteran, there's no other loan on the market available that is better than the VA home loan.
Correct.
So there you have it. First myth busted on Mike Tango podcast. I've been talking phonetically all day. I don't know why. But anyway, so we also wanted to bring up a few more things in regards to the VA home loan that are just mind blowing. Something that we talked about with the Andrew Paul podcast.
Yeah, first of all, let's just say what a powerful podcast. He's a huge honor to have Andrew Paul, SEAL Team 3, correct?
Yes.
Just a monster originator. Great man. Can't say enough and how honored I was, or both of we were, to have him on our podcast. So again, big kudos and nuggets out to Andrew Paul. But go ahead, my friend.
Dude, it still blows my mind that when I get done with work, I give, or I'm on my way home from work, or just an update about work, I call Andrew Paul.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. This dude's my boss. Like, are you kidding me? He's awesome. I love him. I love you, bro. But what we mentioned was the market share of the VA transaction.
Yeah.
So I just pulled the most recent data year to date here in West Michigan. 30,948 total transactions year to date. Okay. Of that, 1,417 were VA. So that equals a 4.5% market share.
Yeah. And so that's pretty powerful.
Yes.
And, what Andrew said has resonated,
yes,
I think, with both of us.
Yeah. And
right?
we were kind of joking around. I was like, I think I want to talk about this again because it's been really bugging me and I've been talking about it quite a bit. And he's like, so have I.
Yeah. I've been talking about it all week, I think, and I mean, it was so powerful that I've already put it into my, so to speak, script, if you will, but not what I do is scripting people, but my repertoire of going through that, initial pre-approval and speaking with our veterans. And, I had a veteran this week, two actually, but one in particular because they were working with two other institutions. And, I said, that the average originator, and I thought what was so powerful is the way that Andrew honored those other originators. Correct. Right? Like, hey, these people aren't bad originators. They're probably really good. No. They could be very, very good originators in that area, right?
So let's get some numbers out there. If you're dealing with a rock star, just killer loan officer, we're saying 100 units a year.
100 units a year.
Or more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hire that guy or gal all day long.
Correct. So, for all intents and purposes, let's just say 150.
Yeah, that's
right.
A rock
okay,
star.
for the year. So that equates to over 10. How many is that a month?
Probably 13.5.
Math for Marines did not work for me, so I got to use a calculator.
I'm gonna guess 13.5. Let's see how close I am.
12.5. So let's say 13 a month. Okay, so they did 13 a month. Okay, so let's say you have an above average loan originator. How many units a year do you say? You say 50 to 75. Let's just say 75. Right?
Okay.
Just for this example. Middle of the road loan originator, I'm going to say about 40.
Yeah, I would say
40?
so too. In our area, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we're in West Michigan, so there's the disclaimer. I know there's just some dynamic rock star loan officers that are just rocking out 300 plus a year. So those are the anomalies.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
But and then everybody else, I'd say anywhere between 10 to 39.
And that's
right.
Yeah.
So
that's your onesie twosie guy.
Yeah.
Gal.
So if we take that 4.5% and apply it to all of these,
right?
That's where you and I had the whoa moment, right? So that rock star originator, the one who just is your go-to person who just crushes every single loan that comes out, right? Only originated 6.75 VA loans, 7 VA home loans,
right,
out of his total transaction. So of the 150, 4.5% of those would be 7.
Yeah.
7 VA home loans out of 150.
And that just boggled my mind. And I loved so much what he said that I have literally put it into action this last week with this particular person that was working with two other institutions. And I said it something more along the lines of like, there's an enormous amount of amazing originators out there, and I'm not saying they're bad originators. I'm saying that they're great originators. They probably do a lot of loans. Do. However, 4 loans, on average 4 to 6 VA loans. And I thought what Andrew said was so powerful that I reused it.
It is. I mean, he has a great way of words.
And I said to this borrower, I said, look, if the average originator in your community that is a rock star does 6 of these a year, me and my partner here, me and my buddy here, we do 4 on average a month. So when you put that in perspective and you go and you sit down, let's say with your doctor, and you're getting ready to get eye surgery or throat surgery, and you say, hey, doc, how many have you done this year? And they say 3. Who would you rather work with? Right? I mean, it's a no-brainer.
You go to the specialist.
You go to the specialist, and that literally sealed the deal with this person that was talking to 2 other originators. It was like the lights came on for them as it did for you and I. Like, wow, that's a great statistic. That's a great little nugget to share with people as, hey, we're veteran advocates. We're VA specialists, right? This is what we do. Yeah. This is what sets us apart from the rest. I'm not saying maybe that other originator does originate more loans than me, but he or she doesn't originate more VA loans than us. That's
Correct.
for sure. And they don't do it to the level in which we do it.
And why is that so important? It's because the VA home loan guidelines are written in a way to confuse. Air quotes, confuse. They're not. They're vague in nature because the guidelines are written the exact opposite. FHA guidelines, conventional guidelines, they're telling you what you can do. Right. The VA home loan guidelines are telling you what you cannot. Everything else is up to the lender because he who holds the gold makes the rules. Right. And now we're getting into lender overlays, or as I like to refer to them as, everybody blame the VA things. Right? Because they're just too egotistical to admit that they're wrong.
Right.
The VA doesn't allow this. The VA doesn't allow that. No, the VA doesn't give a about that. Restraint. Oh, you see
well
that?
Said. I did.
I said the S. I didn't follow it with the hit. So there we go. Small victory.
Well done.
Marine.
Well done.
All right. Trying to stop.
You know what? One thing I want to point out in this, I just got a VA offer accepted, and I want to point out about the termite. The first thing that the agent said to me is, well, the listing agent needs to pay the termite, or the seller of the home. I said, no, they don't. That's a misconception. And it blew me away that the agent almost wanted to argue with me about it.
I'm used to it, man. I love this one. I have taken this myth to heart, and I have absolutely owned it.
So let's talk about it a little bit.
All right. So where does this myth come from? I mean, I think this is a good talking point for you because you have 21 years of experience as a loan originator.
Right.
So I cannot speak to anything that happened prior to 2 years ago. All right. If you want to talk about me being a Marine, I can talk about that, but not in the mortgage world.
Right.
All right. So where do you think this myth has come from?
It has come from the real estate agents, without a doubt.
Well, it's a lender charge. So, I think lenders are at fault too. I think I've come up with a pretty good theory. Okay.
Let's hear your theory.
All right. So this myth all stems from the origination charge. Okay. The VA states, or they limit everybody involved in the transaction on the amount of fees in which we can charge a veteran. Correct. Right? So they cap it at 1% of the loan amount. Okay. Now, where all of this comes from is the way that fee is charged to the veteran on the lender side. Okay.
Correct.
Historically, it has been a flat method, or the one shot, one kill, as I like to call it. Right. Meaning that the lender charges the veteran a flat 1% of the loan amount, and that veteran pays the 1% to the lender. If the veteran pays that full 1% to the lender, they can no longer pay for any fees, period.
Correct.
Okay? Here at the Veterans Home Front, we charge the other way right? It's called the collective method. The collective method states that me as a lender, I can charge a collective amount of all fees up to 1%.
Right.
Which includes the pest and termite. And the document to find that is VA Circular 26-14-10. Okay? But this all stems from okay, so
let's look at it this way, though. Let me throw this in here. So most of the people that are going to be listening to this are going to be our realtor builders, right? As well as some other lenders, and I hope that it helps teach other lenders, right? But in my experience over the last 21 years, if the lender doesn't eat that fee, who do they go to next to pay the fee?
They're not going to. They can ask the agents. The agents aren't going to give it up.
The agents aren't going to pay it. Right?
No, it's going to be the seller.
It's going to be the seller. So that misconception over the last 2 decades of my career is not because the lender doesn't want to eat the fee. The listing agent nor the buyer's agent wants to eat the fee. So immediately it goes to the seller, and the seller is going to eat that fee, or they're going to, in essence, pay for that. And so my experience over the last 20 plus years is that it has become a misconception that it is the obligation of the seller to pay that fee.
Yeah, because back when you started, back when Tommy was 20, yeah. He started as a loan officer. Home values were it was very doable and possible. I mean, it was before the housing market spike.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the FHA loan limit, I believe when I first got into the business, was $78,300.
Oh, holy crap. Okay. You old.
You old.
Okay. So it's, as a lender, we have to keep the doors open. So we have to charge money to do the loan.
To originate a loan.
Okay. Here at the Veterans Home Front, we charge $900 or $1,100, whatever it may be. I'm drawing a blank right now. So how many homes are available right now that are under $100,000?
Very few.
Very few.
Very few.
But
I mean,
back
it does exist.
Yeah, it does exist, and it depends on the area. I mean,
sure.
It's
but very few.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like under 3% of the whole entire market. Okay, that will allow financing.
Correct.
Let's clarify that, because there are some real piles that are cash only homes. Okay, under $100,000. So back in the late 90s. Early 2000s, before the housing market spiked, you could find a 4-bedroom, two-bed home,
or
2-bath home under $120,000.
Yeah,
easily,
right? $110,000 house was a big deal. I think in the early or late 90s, I bought my first house in Wyoming. I think it was $87,900.
Okay,
so that was a great house.
So right now let's say we charge $900 for our duties,
our collective fees,
right? Yeah. We're over the 1% already.
Correct.
At $87,500, right?
Right.
So that's where this is all coming from, is from the VA home loan of the past.
Sure.
100%. That's my theory. This is all coming from there. And it's just been passed down over time.
Right. It stemmed from that, and that where it stemmed from, again, being the lower loan amounts, right? I completely agree with you 100%. But it stemmed from that and then became the lender's not going to pay for it.
It just got pushed onto the seller.
And it just kept rolling year after year after year after year to now where you and I have talked about this before, where we even believe... Well, we totally believe that the purchase agreements that we see.
Oh, brother.
That's another conversation.
Discriminatory language in our purchase agreement. I'll say it.
Yeah, okay. Say it. But, so it just blows me away when I have an offer and the agent says to me, but the seller or the seller, they're going to pay for that. I'm like, whoa.
TV timeout.
Yeah.
Now, that's why it's very important to do your research on a lender. I think that's one of the very first questions you ask, and back to the purchase agreement. Our purchase agreement state, paragraph 15, in the event of VA financing, seller will pay for the pest and termite. Paragraph 21, in the event of VA financing, seller will pay for title closing fees. Now, and not only does it say that, it's in a different size font. It's italicized. It's bold. You might as well just draw red freaking arrows to the damn thing.
Right.
Okay? Because if you put apples to apples, FHA versus VA, same exact purchase price, $200,000. It doesn't matter what the cost of those other inspections are. The seller thinks that they're going to lose out on more money if they accept the VA offer, and that is not right
or true.
Correct. It's only half true.
It's only half true.
But so a $200,000 purchase price, if a veteran pays $2,000 to a lender to do, like, you're so overpaying.
Right.
It's your fiduciary responsibility to do what's best for your client.
Right. I'm amazed, though. I'm amazed. And this is an agent that has been in the industry for 16, 17 years, but that's what they believe.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? You need to come to one of mine and Brad's classes.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and come to our next class.
Yeah. The reason why this really hit home to me was because I had an active duty Marine. Well, he was a reservist. He was called up on Title 10. Just got back from Afghanistan.
Okay.
Right. So he was overseas for a year or longer. And he's like, I want to purchase a home. I'm ready. Because that's what happens when you're over there.
Right.
Your mind is, you think about things, you detail plan things because you just have nothing but time.
Right.
You can only work out for 2 hours. Then your arms stop working. So, he's an overqualified buyer. I mean, FICO score was over the national average of 720. He had tons of money in the bank. He had a constant paycheck. So, I mean, he was just an overqualified buyer. And he called me in February. By June, he still did not have a home, and he was house hunting every weekend. Okay? So I was like, what in the hell is going on? Every time he placed an offer, I would try to call the agent to talk to him. Like, this is an overqualified buyer. They would not take my call. They wouldn't answer, and they would never call back. So I would call and email. I would never hear anything, and the offer got looked over. Right. Okay, roger that. So, I mean, I got really royally pissed off. I reported it to our local real estate board, and they invited me to present and defend at the West Michigan Regional Forms Committee meeting to change the verbiage, and they didn't want to. So that got me even more pissed off, right? But getting pissed off does absolutely nothing about it.
Right.
So I had one of those aha moments. I don't know, maybe sometimes it happens when I'm sleeping. I don't know. Like, I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, I got this idea. So turn the negatives into positives.
Good.
100% turn the negatives into positives. Hashtag good. Jocko Willink. And once I had that aha moment, it's changed the freaking game. It's a game changer, man. I mean, I taught you how to do it, and you rocked one out. Yeah, instantaneously.
It made the offer so much more
enticing. Like, you eliminate the negatives.
But what? I can do what? Yeah, just cross it off, have the buyer initial that. Well, how are we going to get around that? Well, I have a veteran home inspector that'll help us out in that. Or, well, how are we going to get away with the closing fee? We're going to use a veteran advocate title company.
Well, yeah, or not even that. In the grand scheme of things, even though on the purchase agreement it does not give a dollar amount, which even drives me even more crazy, because a seller's going to say, yeah, I'll pay for that, even though I don't know how much it is. Are you crazy?
Right.
Like, they don't buy and sell homes for a living, so how the hell are they going to know how much a pest and termite inspection costs?
Right.
Or title closing fee?
But if I accept this conventional USDA or FHA, I don't have to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I walk away with more money.
I'll push that one to the side.
You and I both know we're talking maybe $200 for both fees combined. Right. So even if you weren't working with a home inspector or a title agent that were an
advocate,
correct, the veteran has enough money in their bank account. I would hope to, because again, if they don't have $200 in their bank account to pay for these things, then why are we discussing purchasing a home?
Right.
Because that's not what's doing what's best for your clients.
Right.
Absolutely not. But
and we talked a lot about that with Andrew Paul AP in the last podcast, that we're here to do loans, but we're here to do loans to choose and to integrate the best financial plan that we can into our borrowers' long and short-term goals that is going to help them continue to keep this home and make it a successful one, where this loan, we're not bringing this loan back.
Correct. So the way I approach it is this is not just a person to me. It is one of my brothers.
Yeah. I know that.
My family. So I have the hard conversations with them and they appreciate it.
Right.
I hate it, especially when I get the, oh my God, this VA deal is about to blow up call.
Right.
Well, let me talk to them. Well, see if I can help, however I can help. Right.
Right.
And I always have to be the freaking bearer of bad news 3 days out from closing. Like, look, I don't know what the hell is going on over there, but I just tried to pull your eligibility document and you're not eligible.
Right.
And I am sorry.
Or how about the one that we talked about earlier today, man? I mean, great friend of mine gives me a call and he's number 4 at the end of starting 1, 2, 3, 4 homes being sold. Mm-hmm. And, it's like between him and 4 other agents calling me saying, hey, this is blowing up. And I talk to that buyer's agent and say, hey, I'm here to help. I'm a certified instructor, certified, VA advocate, trainer. I can help you. This is what I do. And she says to me, well, he just got out of the military 2 months ago, and I know it's harder for him to get a VA loan. What would you say to that, Brad?
Professionally or
professionally?
Professionally.
Not Marine talk. Professionally.
Why? Why do you think that?
Well, because it's harder to get a VA loan once you get out of the military. If you're just out of the military,
who told you that? Because that's 100% false.
Right. But if he's not working full time, does that change things?
No. Why is he going to be penalized for doing something that only 1% of the entire population has done?
And so that's the sad part with all this is that all these deals blew up, and now we have a veteran that's walking around that doesn't believe that he can get financed. He or she.
Yes, and that is infuriating in itself. On top of that, it makes our job even harder as educators.
Right. And it
leaders.
Circles back to our no more.
No more.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, I was just floored when this woman told me that. I asked her, so if somebody is a doctor, they can't do the doctor loan? Because they've only been a doctor for 2 months?
Yeah, no.
It just, and where it's comical, it's also incredibly frustrating to me to know that one of your brothers or sisters is out there that doesn't believe they can get a home.
Yeah.
Because of the originator that they were working with. And that to me, that hurts for what we do.
Exactly. And it all circles into the fact that, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Right. So the rock star loan officer.
Right. They did 6.
Yeah. He originated 150 loans last year.
Right. I literally used that example for this woman.
So they're not in it every day. So it gets confusing when they have to go back and forth.
The thing that really boggled my mind.
Why would you go to a foot specialist if you needed a heart operation?
I was going to say if your tooth hurt.
Yeah. It just
right. The thing that really blew me away about that, I guess, the most, Brad, was that we had 4 other agents in the transaction that went from the end transaction all the way up to hers that literally had called me and said, will you call her? And I said, I did. And unfortunately, she doesn't want me to help.
The veteran or the agent?
The woman that was representing the buyer's agent that was representing the veteran did not want me to contact their client. And it was unfortunate. Because then I found out later that day or the next day that the listing agent of the home that the buyer was, which rightfully so, that the veteran was buying, he put back on the market because he's got 3 other deals that back that up. And because of the purchase price, it'll probably go under contract pretty quick. The part that, again, is saddening is that the fact that now we have a veteran that's walking around that doesn't believe that he's eligible to finance a loan.
They've earned it.
Right.
It's the most phenomenal loan program on the market, and I beat my head against the wall every day trying to advocate and spread the word that this is not rocket science here. This is the VA home loan. If you never quit on it, it's gonna freaking close.
Right.
If you have the right approach and attitude towards it. But that's the problem. People do not want to spend the time trying to understand it.
Yeah, it with my new mission of becoming this veteran advocate and really diving deep into this, I am blown away with the amount of people, weekly, daily, monthly, agents that I have respected for years that won't sit down and take the time to understand why the VA loan is the best product out there. They truly don't know. And they don't know what they don't know, but the fact that they're not willing to educate themselves and grow on it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Yeah. The one that really struck home to me was when I actually received a call, or I actually had an agent answer the phone when I called. It's the same client that started me down the seller has to pay the veteran's fees. Hey, have you ever had any experience with the VA home loan, Mr. Listing Agent? Yep. In 1988.
Right.
Like, okay, how'd that go? Like, have you had one afterwards? He goes, no, it was a horrible transaction. I've never accepted one since. I was like, since 1988?
Right.
I was 8 years old. Let's go ahead and use what I was doing when I was 8 years old against me. Right. Come on.
Right.
Are you serious?
Right.
He proceeded to the offer was accepted only because it was the parents of a Marine. Okay, so it was like the heartstrings type thing.
Sure.
So he reluctantly accepted, and he proceeded to be a complete jackass through the entire process. But just to let you know, we still closed before the contract date.
Of course.
And he refused to use the title agent that we wanted to go to.
Right.
So we closed, and he was sitting outside the door for an extra hour because it was 3 Marines part of this transaction. So we were hobnobbing it up.
Right.
For an extra hour. We opened the door to go out, and he's like, I'm here to get my check. Well, the check's at your title agency. So he wasted 2 hours of his day just for being a jackass. Well, good. You kind of deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we closed it early. It was a smooth transaction, and I like to try to change the perception of the VA home loan, but there's some people that you just need to get out of this business.
Yeah. Well, it's, again, comes down to people don't know what they don't know. A lot of people think that the FHA 203K, the rehab loan is a bad loan. It's not a bad loan. It's a great loan. It's a great loan for the right buyer.
Correct.
I don't believe that there's any wrong product. And I know people will tear me up about this, and I challenge anyone. I'd love to sit down with anyone, but I believe that there is the right loan for the right borrower, period, no ifs, ands, or buts. People will say ARMs are bad. People will say this loan product's bad, that loan product's bad. If it comes to our veteran, obviously we know VA loan's one. But listen, period. If you're an experienced originator and you know what you're doing, there's no such thing as the wrong loan. There's the wrong loan for the wrong borrower, and there's the right loan for the right buyer.
Correct.
And if you know what you're doing, move forward.
So, again, the Rockstar loan officer originated, it was actually 13 VA home loans last year.
The Rockstar.
Yeah,
the Rockstar. That closed 150 units, which is just, probably top,
in
3%.
In comparison, I've been a loan officer for not even 2 years.
Right. Yeah.
I've closed over 20 VA home loans, and I wasn't even a full year.
Right.
So I'll take your 25 years experience.
You're going to close over
mine.
20 VA loans in the first 3 months, the first quarter of this 2019.
Yeah, because we haven't even talked about our business plan. Like, we just discussed this.
That's right.
Like, because we could sit here, bitch, cry, complain all day long, but what is that doing? It's doing absolutely nothing but making us pissed off, right? So let's take action, right? That's what we talked about, and I told Tom what my goals were in regards to educating, and he's like, "Oh, those are my exact same goals." I was like, "Well, good, because I just lied." Because it's actually 36, and he's like, "Oh, well, let's do it." So
which ironically,
we agreed
once we started adding our goals together and where we want to speak, turned out to be 36.
Yeah. So I think we agreed, to set 2 per month for now, and if we want to increase it, we're going to increase it. So we're going to set 2 educational events every month.
Yep.
For 2019, because hashtag crush 2019, right?
2019.
Yep. And then roll out a veteran educational video series in regards to the VA home loan and the VA home loan process.
Yeah.
Again, because never assume that a veteran knows their benefits.
Or a real estate agent. I think we just made that very
clear.
Or
a lender or anybody, So, I mean, this is all, I know we keep kind of harassing agents and lenders, but it's not. It's because we're frustrated and we're taking a stand, and this is what we're going to do. No more will a veteran be taken advantage of. We are going to go to war like the special operations that we are.
Absolutely.
So stand by. We'll drop all of those dates and videos, and I can't wait to see your first video, dude.
Yeah.
Real to Recon intro.
Real to Recon, right? The Real to Recon intro.
So believe it or not, that really helped me tremendously when I first started doing those, even though I felt like such an idiot.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to do them. I'm excited to continue to bring this message out. I mean, this as we've talked in previous podcasts has just been a game changer and a reigniter for my career, and I love it, and I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to go down this path with you, man. I love to see your passion and what you've done in just 2 years with your career, and it's exciting. It's intoxicating to be around, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it and help you grow and what I can know and what I've done in the last 20 years originating, and I'm looking to help you make me grow as well. And iron sharpens iron, period.
Exactly. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man to another. It's a great thing. Andrew Paul,
yeah.
he's like a prophet. First time I ever talked to him, he's like, when the time is right, you will pay it forward, and I expect you to pay it forward. Like, roger that. Yeah. When he tells you that, you got it, sir.
Yeah.
So, but let's wrap this up.
Okay.
We will be doing something really cool with our VA underwriter next week.
Yeah, I mean, let me, if you don't mind, let me take that, because you always get to
absolutely take it.
You always get to introduce these
awesome
Navy SEALs and Marine Corps veterans. But so next week we are going to bring on our top VA underwriter. He is a good, close, dear friend of mine. His name is David Garrett. David has been absolutely influential in all of our growth here at the Veterans Home Front with Jay McMakin and our owner, Stuart Hunter. And I just have the utmost respect for this man. He has a passion not only helping veterans get into homes, but he has a passion to teaching those that are underneath him from a managerial standpoint to an originator standpoint. This guy has a heart of a bear. He looks like a bear too. But I'm excited to have this guy on. I'm incredibly juiced to have him on. He is just a great man, and his passion for this product and for our mission of never quitting until we get that veteran into a home. It's exciting, and I'm excited to have him on. So
I'm just as juiced. We call him Gremlin because this dude has a goatee to rival ZZ Top, and he's a great.
I said
dude.
He looked like a bear.
Yeah, well, I mean, people could say take that so many different ways, but this dude, I'm juiced to have him on just to kind of unpack the Veterans Home Front and the never quit mindset that we have here, because I try to explain to people all the time, like we underwrite to the VA guidelines. We have no under overlays, which is crazy. You know, everybody's like, what? I mean, I guess really the only overlay that we have is we have a FICO score overlay. That's it. You know, but if by God, if there's a way, if it's allowed in the VA lender handbook, we're going to close it.
Yeah.
You know, which is insane. And we have some phenomenal stories in which Gremlin was a part of that we're going to share when he's on. So we're not going to talk about it now.
Not going to talk about it now, but we do have one regarding that FICO score thing. So I do intend sharing that with you because that's another myth that we have that we'll be understanding.
Myth bust again, man.
But hey, let's wrap this up, my friend. Hey, this is Brad Stinson, my co-anchor, my buddy. Man, always a pleasure with you. Hey, listen, we are both huge veteran advocates. We both sit here at the Veterans Home Front, and we are both part of Benchmark Mortgage. We're huge advocates for our veterans. We are VA home loan specialists and also certified trainers through Military Mortgage Boot Camp. This is Tactical Mortgage Talk, and I look forward to seeing you on the air again, my friend.
Absolutely. Hashtag Crush 2019. Hashtag Get After It.
Have a good one. Yeah.
Later, buddy.
See you. Bye.
That was good.